Good afternoon and welcome to Let's Talk. I'm Darlene and I have a great subject. As everybody knows, I love animals, every kind of animal. And my good guest here, Jeff Allen, co-founder of Monkey's House, and you also work with your wife who could not be here today.
That's correct, and thank you for having me, Darlene.
Oh, I'm excited about what you do. He does something kind of different than what most people do. Tell us about, first, where did you get your inspiration and what is Monkey's House?
So we got our inspiration really from dogs, right? Because Monkey's House is a dog hospice and sanctuary. And what we do is we rescue dogs from shelters that are going to be destroyed because of their major medical issues that they have, and they're unadoptable. And we got the inspiration, we started in 2015, but we actually got the inspiration 5 years before that, like in 2010, because we started fostering dogs. Mm-hmm. And my wife was a nurse, retired nurse now, and we were getting the dogs that needed really medical care from the fosters because they knew my wife could take care of them. And we got a dog named Goldie. She was a golden retriever, sweetest dog as ever, probably about 12 years old, had the biggest mass on her side that you can imagine, and very emaciated. They asked us to please try to get weight on her. Well, we really couldn't do that, so we tried and tried, and Michelle says, this dog has something really major going on with it. They wanted to do surgery, and Michelle says, I don't think that's the best idea. So we took it to our own vet and found out that it was cancer. Mm-hmm. So long story short, we ended up adopting Goldie. She became Goldie Allen.
Was your first one for this group?
Yeah, this was actually right before Monkey's House started. And we adopted her because she really shouldn't have gone through the surgery, and she actually went to the Rainbow Bridge shortly after. Mm-hmm. But it kind of really sparked us, and we ended up with 9 dogs. Half of them were fosters, half were adopted by us, all seniors with major medical problems, and Monkey was one of them. And so
Monkey
that's how.
Was a dog.
Yeah, Monkey was a dog. So Monkey's House became. It was really a tribute to Monkey.
And what kind of dog was Monkey?
He was the little Heinz 57 mix, right? He was the cutest thing. Now, he had congestive heart failure, extremely bad, dental disease. So we went to the shelter vet and said, Michelle did, and said, he needs to see a cardiologist because we've had dogs in the past that had that issue. The shelter vets always try to do the best they can. Mm-hmm. They have limited funds, as you know.
Sure.
So he said, no, just take him home and let him rest. He'll probably be with us about a month. That wasn't good enough for us. So we adopted him. We took him to our own cardiologist, our own vet. He got the meds he needed. 17 months he was with us.
Oh,
and living
amazing.
vibrantly, loving life. And it just shows that when you get the proper medication, the proper vet care, nutrition, in that loving home environment, what it can do. It can go from a shelter vet saying he has a month to 17 months. And after he passed, we started Monkey's House.
That's amazing. Now, tell us a little bit about Monkey's House. I know they live in a house setting, no cages or nothing.
Correct. So we're in a home environment. We have 25 plus or minus dogs at any one time at our residence. And most of them are in the main house. We converted our garage, and we have another little section, a couple of rooms on the other side of the garage we call the cottage. It looks like a little English cottage.
Oh, how cute.
Yeah, it has a little white picket fence around it. They have their own little space. And that's because some of the dogs, we only take in dog friendly and cat friendly because we have a couple of cats.
Cats too.
Yeah. But still, when you think there's 20 dogs in there, bang it, because we have a lot of blind and deaf dogs.
Oh, right.
So they're banging around in there like a pinball machine sometimes, right? And some of the bigger dogs says, I had enough of this. So they live out in the cottage. They'll come in the house once in a while to visit. So it's really, when people come to visit, they can't believe it, because they'll come in, they'll walk into the family room, they'll sit down, everybody will quiet down, and you look around, and there's like 20 dogs on little dog beds, sofas, chairs.
I love it. This is amazing. And you said you have 6 acres, or you have a kind of an acreage too, so they can even run around in there.
Oh, and it's great because we have volunteers. We call our volunteers aunts and uncles because we claim that they have to be part of the family, right? It's really, we want them to really be bonded with these dogs. So the aunts and uncles come over, and they'll walk around. We have, like I said, 6 acres, so it gives them a big field to walk around in. And we are in southern Jersey, so we're really out in the country.
So tell me about some of what's unique about the hospice care? What are some of the unique things that you do? I think you said something about special food and holistic approaches.
Yeah, so there's very few true dog hospices in the world,
I
not just
know,
the
I
U.S.,
read.
in the world. And most of them are senior dog sanctuaries, and they
Sure.
kind of have some hospice dogs there too. We are just focused on the hospice dogs. So what we do is we take the hospice dogs, and we have, like I said, the home setting. They all get a tailored meal, right?
Aw.
So depending on what they have, we have dogs with cancer, liver disease, kidneys problems, you name it, we have them. So the meals are based on what they have. We use traditional Chinese medicine as well. So there's some herbs that we use. They still get their regular medicine that vets prescribe because we still need that. So it's a combination of all those. And the other factor we'll throw in, I think I mentioned a lot of things already, is field trips.
Oh,
We
I
go on
love
field
it.
trips. So the dogs, that's why, it's where dogs go to live, right? So
Do you take them all like a couple at a time?
no, we take them all. So we,
I
about a
love
year and a
it.
half ago, well, we used to take them all in a bunch of volunteers' cars. Now we have a senior citizen bus.
I love
So we
it.
got a bus. We got it rigged for all the dogs. One side is like all these 3 layers of crates.
Oh.
We pile into the bus, and we'll go to the Jersey Shore. We'll go to the state forest, because we're about 10 minutes from the state forest. So we go there a lot. Our bigger annual trip is to see Santa Claus. So we go 25 plus, actually there's 35 dogs, because some of our fosters go as well. And 35 dogs, about 25 of our aunts and uncles will be sitting with Santa.
I love this. This is just, actually, in case you're looking, it's bringing tears to my eyes because I love animals so much. And you see so many people, this is what's really sad. People bring their old dogs to the shelter. How could anybody do that? And what you're doing is just amazing, you know? I just got a call, I was telling you, of an older dog whose parent died, and they had this dog. It's now 12 or 13 since it was a puppy, and the relatives just brought it to a high kill shelter, a 6-pound dog. Naturally, I took it like you. I have to help them, but I just think this is amazing, and the field trips are great. Tell us some of the most unique stories you have, or your favorite. I know you have Hannah Bear's story and some others.
Yeah, so Hannah Bear, a little Pomeranian,
Aw.
she came to us with no, Pomeranians have a lot of hair, if anybody knows Pomeranian. And she had this she had no hair from the neck down, neck back. And she had cancer extremely bad, mammary masses that were actually oozing out all on her underneath part. And so when she came, we quickly put her on a healthy diet. We took her to see our veterinarian, and there was we always have plans for every dog that comes. And we got the plans in place. She did have the mammary masses removed. There were some times to get her prepped for that. And eventually, her hair grew back. She was the most beautiful dog that
that's
you can imagine.
amazing.
And here's a dog that was, like you said, was basically a throwaway dog, lived with us for well over 2 years, loved her trips to the beach, loved sitting on Santa's lap. But what she loved the most was chasing our cats in the house.
You're kidding.
So when she first came, she was kind of lethargic, because of all the health.
Sure.
But she picked right back up. Now she did still she actually had lung cancer too because it spread.
How long did she
But
live?
she was with us for well over 2 years.
That's just see what love can do. I still say it's love and good care. Now, I had a question. You had said, what is the difference between George Clooney and Mary Poppins? And I wanted to know what that answer is.
So now you're talking, yes, now we're getting into the book, right? So
Oh, okay. We're going to talk about the book. Well, we could just mention it very quickly. In the next half, we're going to talk about the book. Where do dogs live?
yeah, so in the book Where Dogs Go to Live, there's a chapter called What do George Clooney and Mary Poppins have in common? And yeah, that was a very funny title. But what I'm getting at in that chapter is, and you mentioned it earlier in a sense, we try to keep everything very positive at Monkey's House, very positive. we don't, most of the times we don't know the history of a dog, right? And you know what? We would like to know the medical history of the dog, but we don't want to know about the past because the past of most of these dogs is not good,
Sure.
right? As you know. So what we focus on is when the dog comes to Monkey's house, forward. That's what we really focus on. We want positive energy. Positive energy means we come up, most of our dogs are deaf. So we can
I had a
change.
few blind ones too.
Yeah, we have blind ones and deaf ones. But if they're deaf, we can change names. We come up with inspiring names. If the dog is seems kind of be timid, we give it a strong name. If the dog seems to be a little bit high energy, we give it a calming name.
Right.
And we do the same thing with other things. Now, George Clooney, we were donated because we go through a ton of food. We go through
Oh,
150 pounds of food a week.
And we're going to later talk about
Yeah.
how you raise money too.
So George Clooney is the -40 freezer that was donated to us, which has a glass front, which helps us know how much food we have and what's
Wow.
prepping. And they even put a Monkey's House logo across the top, and it's illuminated.
That's
so
amazing.
the ladies at Monkey's House said, "This is so good looking, it's called George Clooney." and the Mary Poppins is, we have a crash cart. And in the crash cart are some things to help the dogs if they're actually crashing, right? Like you would in a hospital.
Sure.
There's something that helps with oxygen. There's some different things. And Michelle said, you know what? We don't want to call it a crash cart because a crash cart is kind of intimidating for someone who's not used to that. So she calls it Mary Poppins. It's our magical bag, and it's a big suitcase full of all this stuff. So if there's an issue, she'll say, "Run and get Mary Poppins,"
Oh, I
because
love
Mary
it.
Poppins has the magic
And
to
it's
help the
also
dogs.
positive too.
Yeah.
There's nothing negative. Well, we're going to take a short break, but we're going to come back and we're going to talk all about other dogs and this wonderful book, Where Do Dogs Go to Live? I just love the subject so much. It kind of breaks me up to think of these wonderful dogs and how you're giving them such a great end of life. We'll be right back with Let's Talk.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed within their lifetime. RVN TV is asking for your support for breast cancer survivors and those currently battling the disease. You can do this by wearing pink ribbons or clothing throughout the month of October. Early detection and treatment is crucial, and we at RVN TV encourage all women to consider undergoing breast clinical exams and mammograms. The fight against breast cancer needs your support.
We're back with Let's Talk, and we just showed a little video. Tell us a little bit about the video.
So that video is two of our dogs, Dozer and Ariel. Dozer has DM, degenerative myelopathy, which is just like ALS in humans. Very similar. It's a dog version of ALS. And so he's no longer with us. He was with us for 3 months. Wonderful German Shepherd that we took care of. And Ariel is a little Maltese poodle mix, the little white one. She's still with us. She is a Spitfire, and we got her a cart. She runs all over the place. The sad truth is she had a horrible beginning. She broke her leg in some way. Again, we don't know all the details, but they didn't get it fixed. She chewed her leg off.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so she's missing both. One is completely from the hip down, and the other one is half missing. So, but she gets along great. She loves life. She did have cancer. We had that recently removed, and luckily, knock on wood, completely removed.
Wow.
Like,
Where
so-
do you get the carts? Do people donate? Or
Some will
do you help
donate,
them?
or else, thanks to people donating to us, we can go ahead and buy them. Because the carts are specific for dogs. They're not inexpensive.
Sure.
Because you really have to, they really measure the dog up and get an exact measurement for those
Yes,
carts.
I know. And I wanted to ask you, this is very expensive. And you were saying you have gone through so much of your own money, and then you became a 501(c). How do you raise money? What do you do, and what can we do to help you?
So thankfully, we have a lot of donors, a lot of supporters. We have a Facebook page out there that every night we post and show pictures of the dogs. What's amazing, Darlene, is people from around the world, not just the U.S., fall in love with these dogs. Never see them, fall in love with them. If we don't sometimes put a picture out there within a couple of days, this little guy on the front here, ML Bob, that was ML Bob.
Oh, okay.
And people fell in love with him so much, because if you look at those eyes.
Now, what
right?
was his story, ML Bob?
His story was, he came to us, he was kind of what I was saying. The vet said, oh, he's going to live about a month.
Oh, he was the one.
And he had cancer throughout his whole body, and his stomach was extended, but he was so thin, he was almost going to go quite a few times. But he kept hanging in, and he eventually wouldn't eat the healthy food. So we had to get something down his
You had to give
pipe.
him some junk food,
He had to
right?
give him junk food. So he was like eating pizza, he was eating, pancakes, you name it, he ate it.
Hey, when
But-
they're at the end of their life, you give them what they want.
Absolutely.
You know?
And the funniest thing was, people fell in love with this dog from around the world. They really did. And if we didn't put a picture out every night of ML Bob, we're starting to get, where's ML Bob? Where's ML Bob?
So he had his own following.
He had his own following.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, what is a boy and his dog?
Oh, a boy and his dog. So we do have forever fosters. We have about 25 dogs, like I said, at our home, but we also have about 8 to 10 dogs that are placed in families. We still support them with food, with vet care, everything. All they have to do is supply the love.
Oh, that's amazing.
It is. And this one family, the Joneses, they have actually 3 dogs, about 3 dogs at any time, of Monkey's House dogs. They have a couple of their own. They have a little boy named Caden, and Caden is on the autism spectrum, right? And I talk about how these dogs, first off, he's given love to these dogs, as is his family. But these dogs give him so much. They give him confidence. They help him because he has sensory overload. So they help him when his sensory overload is attacking. The dogs actually come up, put their head on his hip. So it's really amazing to see the bond between this little boy, who was 3 when he started. Now he's 5, so they've been with us a couple of years.
That's great. And the
these
dog
dogs-
has been there, too.
Yeah, and they've had quite a few of our dogs.
Now, we have photos. We want to put some of the photos up and have
Okay.
you explain some of them. They'll be showing them in a second. Here they are. Now, what is this one?
So that's just Michelle and myself with a few of our dogs. I think there's like 8 dogs there
And
right
Michelle
now.
is your wife who wrote the book
Well,
with you.
yeah, Michelle helped me write the book, and Michelle she's the medical expert in the family.
Okay. And what else do we have? We have other pictures. Oh, this is so cute. Who is this?
This is Cotton, and Cotton. So Cotton had a injury from the past. Again, we don't know all the history, but his pelvis was really broken. So he would go and get underwater treadmill, which helps strengthen the body and helps get things moving again.
Sure,
So,
I know. We had a dog who went to the same place, and that's really great. With Dr. House Smith, I love him.
That's correct, Pet
He's
PT.
wonderful. Now, is he still with you, that little one?
No, that little one has
Oh,
passed.
okay.
Yeah, the thing is that some dogs are with us for. Buck was a little mixed dog, was with us 4 years. Most dogs are with us, I'd say, a year plus.
Yeah,
or
but it's
minus.
probably the best year of their life.
Oh, it is the best
I'm
year.
sure.
And
Now,
with-
who do we have here?
So this is Caden. I was talking about Caden.
right.
And that's Harley, an Alaskan Malamute that had a huge tumor as well on the side, about the size of a basketball, that was removed. And she did have cancer. Now she's passed, but they've built a tremendous bond, those two.
Oh, that's just amazing. Now, what is? Oh, we have more. Is this a field trip?
That's our
Your
photos with
Christmas.
Santa. That was a
Oh,
couple years ago.
tell
was
us about
photos.
this.
So, like I said, what we do is all the dogs we pile into, our senior citizen bus. It's called Wagon One, like Air Force One, but it's Wagon One. So it's very important. Dogs love it. They hop on there. We go on our field trips. This is the one to see Santa. So we all line up. There's about 35 dogs there, and I think around 20, 25 volunteers.
all the aunts.
All the aunts. There's a few uncles, mostly
Few
aunts.
uncles, right?
Yeah.
This is really amazing. Now, we didn't really talk much about the book. Let's talk about the book, and it's by you and your wife, Michelle Allen. So let's talk about the book. And we said, where did you get the inspiration for Monkey's House? But where did you get the inspiration to actually go through with writing a book?
Well, it started a couple of years ago, and writing a book is
hard.
It's a big process. But, these dogs, they deserve a life, right? They deserve the final chapters, and we give them the best final chapters we can. And we've rescued well over 100 dogs now, and there's 37 stories in the book. So it's basically just stories of the book, but where some people may think, well, I don't want to read about a hospice dog, it's very inspiring and uplifting. I wanted to make sure that the book was very positive, and really shows that these dogs do deserve, a chance at the end of life. Like you said, we don't want people to take them to the shelters, or we've actually had some where their parents have passed, and then there was nobody to take them.
Yes.
And we always say, look, if you have a pet, do something in your will. Make sure that someone's
Right.
going to take care of your pet for you because you love that pet. You don't let them end up in a shelter.
Yeah, we
so-
say that about horses too, because
Yeah.
they can live up to 40 years. People have to take care of animals, dogs, cats, and their horses. A lot of people don't really think about that, but I think it's great, and what you're doing is really great.
So the stories in the book, like I said, a lot of them, and there's some sadder stories, a lot of funny stories, but we're highlighting the lives of these dogs. And the one other thing, there's a couple chapters. One is kind of a lot of the different modalities that we use, underwater treadmill, different type of procedures that we'll do, which people could use with their senior dogs as well. And there's also a chapter called sofa medicine.
Oh, I was
And-
just going to ask you about sofa medicine.
Yeah, so sofa medicine, Michelle really wanted to focus on that because there's a lot of things you can do at home for your dogs if they need sub-Q fluids, right? So a lot of dogs, depending on the condition they're in, they may need fluids. Anybody can do it. I do it. I don't have a medical degree, right?
I've done it.
Yeah, you've done it. I think a lot of people who have owned pets for a long time can do that. There's other things that you can do. So we always say you need a great relationship with your vet, right? If you don't have a great relationship with your vet, maybe find a new vet. Also, we do traditional and non-traditional veterinary care. If you have a traditional vet, just see if they're open to non-traditional, right? Because sometimes there's other methods, there are other procedures that can be done.
Just like with humans.
Yes. So really, really give it thought and know the condition of your dog, too, especially when it gets to be a senior dog. You want to be as knowledgeable as possible because if you do have that knowledge, it's going to help you out. It's going to be less stressful when your dog does get older in life and you go through these, and you'll still be able to enjoy time with your dogs.
Sure. Now, where can we get your book?
So the book is actually available everywhere and anywhere.
Oh,
Your
that's
local
great.
bookstores, they might not have it in stock, but they can get it. Of course, it's available online through Barnes & Noble. Most people get things through Amazon, so you can get it through Amazon as well. So
I'll never forget that little face. That face is just so adorable. But is there anything we didn't cover? I can't wait to go home and read the book, too.
No, I appreciate you having us on, and we really do want people to, be able to enjoy their dog all the way up until that last day.
And how do you get funds? Is there a Facebook page or you
So
have a website?
what we ask people to do is, well, first off, yeah, if they could get the book, that'd be great. A portion of the proceeds of the book do go to Monkey's House. Also in the book, and monkeyshouse.org is our website, so you can go there. There's different ways you can donate. You can obviously donate financially because we do. It's very expensive
I
to take care of
know.
dogs, for hospice dogs. You can also go to our Amazon wish list if you want to get something from the wish list for us. Amazon Smile. There's different ways that you can do it, and it's all on our website. And also, please follow us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/monkeyshouse.org. And you can follow us and fall in love with these dogs every day. You'll see posts out there.
This is just amazing. I want to thank you for coming on the show. I want to say this is one of my favorite subjects. As everybody knows, I try to get animals in as much as I can. And I want to read your book, and I'm going to talk about it again, and I'm going to put it on my Facebook page too, because it looks so cute, and I love it. But thanks again for coming on the show, and everybody, we're here all the time. We're on demand. We're here on Thursdays, we're here on Fridays, and we're on demand, so you just go onto the site and click on demand, and you'll see the shows. And as I always say, have a great week, and God bless our country, and go out and help an animal. Thanks, bye.